Welcome everybody who is connected right now on DJ Soltrix's YouTube and his Facebook or whatever else other channels he had here. Also mine. Welcome to everyone on La Mezcla YouTube channel, lamezcla.com, and everyone listening to the audio version of this podcast, lamezcla.com podcast, and I'm watching this on lamezcla.com website. My name is DJ Speedy Jr., and this is a Salon de DJ Speedy Jr., Speedy Jr.'s Lounge, and I'm here, ladies and gentlemen, with my very good friend who I am always proud to call one of my very good friends for many, many, many years. And I've always been wanting to get on to this podcast, and we finally made it happen today. Ladies and gentlemen, the world-renowned Bachata remixer, producer, and DJ from Tampa, Florida, Mr. DJ Soltrix. Welcome to the show, sir.
What's up, man? How are you,
What's going
Speedy?
on?
Thanks so much for having me, man. It's a
Oh
pleasure,
man,
man.
thank you so much for taking some time out and letting me talk to you, man. It's been a while since I actually saw you. Did that one live on the YouTube
Yeah.
channel. I always thank you for always inviting me to your channel, man. It's always a blast.
No, I know, man. Definitely, and we need to have you back soon. I know we've been pausing on this doing this interview for quite some time, so
Well,
I'm glad our schedules are finally aligned to finally get it done.
we have this new technology in 2022 where we could do it virtually. So that's what we're doing. We're taking advantage of it.
Hey,
You're in
that's
your house
right.
and I'm in mine, but we making it happen today.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
let's start. Let's start from the beginning. The beginning of time. In the beginning of time, there was a big bang, and then
Man, you make it sound so
shouts out
dramatic.
to everyone checking in, man, and we'll be sharing more of the comments as everyone is coming in on all channels here. But the beginning, of DJ Soltrix, I know, and this is all Googleable, but it's better to hear it from the man himself, from the voice himself. How'd you get started in music? What was your inspirations? And how did this DJing stuff begin for you?
Oh man, it honestly just all came from my dad. As you know him. You worked with him several years on the radio station.
Yes,
My
yes.
father was kind of my interest at first because growing up, he was on the radio doing live hosting morning shows on the Spanish radio station here in Tampa,
Yeah,
and
for everyone who doesn't know who your father is, by all means.
yeah. Joseito Rodriguez.
Yes.
He's a Tampa legend out here doing Latin morning shows. But he was the guy that kind of sparked it because when I would spend time with him on the weekends, he would have his little studio at home, and I was
Hmm.
so amazed by all the equipment, even though when I think back on it today, it wasn't much, but but uh but I was just, as a teenager coming up, I was just so amazed by the equipment, what he was doing, editing audio, editing his own voice,
Right.
and it was all amazing to me. It was all amazing, and from there on, I got an interest in radio, and
Hmm.
that's when I started listening to other radio stations. Basically, the local radio station here, 93.3. They were doing a Saturday night house show, and well, back then it was breakbeats, but it's still electronic. So that's where I discovered my love for electronic dance music, and as well
Hmm.
as DJs blending music together.
Right.
And you
So
know,
so just to take a pause right there. Your first love was EDM.
oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
for
So you were
sure.
a big
That
house head.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. That's kind of like what sparked my interest in DJing at the beginning. So I would literally like listen to DJs on the radio, um, look up songs, the songs that they blended together,
Hmm.
and try to manipulate it back at home in the studio. Like I would take those same two songs, and I still remember to this day.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was
By all means, you get into
aqua,
detail, man.
yeah,
We can get as
aqua.
DG nerdy as possible on this
Oh,
podcast, okay?
definitely,
Because that's
definitely.
what I'm really trying to make this podcast about that and trying to get more DJs on here and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So literally it was this track Aquagen called Why Are
Hmm.
You So Quiet? I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I remember it. I
Yeah.
remember it.
And then mixed with
Why
Darude.
are you so quiet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was like the voice of God almost.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I blended that track with Darude Sandstorm
Oh,
back
okay.
when Sandstorm was hot. And that was basically, I was trying to copy that mix that I heard on the radio. I even recorded the mix on the radio on a cassette tape just to play it back,
Right.
and I would basically try to copy the same thing that person did. And of course, I didn't know anything about music or mixing or anything back then. So I mean, I didn't even know about adjusting tempos and BPMs. So I would just do like a fade in, fade out, like as best as I could to make it
Right.
sound an exact copy, but I failed miserably. Anyway, long story short,
Mm-hmm.
I started to gain my interest in DJing and started to, mess with audio software that my dad had it there and available to me at the time, and basically started making my own mixes. Eventually I learned, I picked up on, the basic skills of DJing, blending, mixing, crossfading, adjusting tempo,
Right.
learning basics, with A to B, B to A. Um, and yeah, that's kind of where it all stemmed from. That was the beginning for me. Definitely right during my high school years. I would say I was a sophomore back then.
Wow, that's awesome, man. So I
Yeah.
mean, you had so this is not a fair weather thing for you. Like you've been down since it's been down. You've been down with the DJ scene since the beginning, since as far as you can remember, loving music or
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I was around music all the time. I mean, obviously, growing up in a Hispanic Cuban family, I would have salsa and merengue heard all the time at family parties, and that I didn't really care for the Spanish music back then. I was
mm-hmm.
into the modern music. Kind of like
Right.
our generation now
Mm-hmm.
today and the
Mm-hmm.
new generation, whatever they hear on the radio. But for me, it was just that Saturday night mix, man. That electronic feel that I fell in love with, and I just every Saturday, like attending church, I would just tune in uh vibe out, man.
That's what I tell my DJ students. I'm like, what are your favorite DJs you listen to? And they all look at me like, huh? I'm like, you're not listening to any DJs. I said, you guys need to go to YouTube or turn on your favorite radio station at night and see if they're mixing at night and listen to it and study it. That's your
Hmm.
homework. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because that's what we
Yep.
used to do. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So when did the one from studying Saturday night mixes on your favorite radio station, all the way to starting? When was the first time you said, "Okay, I'm gonna start doing this"?
Um, I would say it was around that time when I was inspired by listening to other DJs.
Yeah.
That was the moment where I was like, I mean, at the time I didn't look at it as a career or a profession, even though I did have that dream of be becoming
Mm-hmm.
a career, of course.
Right.
But from my research back then, not a lot of DJs made it, and they couldn't make money off of it. So, obviously, the biggest success in life is what I think is the biggest success in life is doing what you love and earning a stable income out of it.
Right.
And so at the time, I was discouraged by like friends and family. I remember my own brother told me that oh, you shouldn't get into DJing. You can't make a living off of it or
Oh man, you know
whatever.
how
And
many times I've heard that? I still hear that to this day. When you gonna stop? When you gonna
yeah,
take life seriously,
exactly.
Speedy?
Right. No, I've heard that at the
I
back
like
then.
I like how let's I feel like telling those people let's put my bank accounts up with yours, and then you tell me if you want me to if I should stop or not.
Right, exactly. So, you know what I mean? Like hearing messages like that,
Yeah,
it discouraged me, but when you have a passion for something, nothing stops you. You know what I mean?
that's right.
Nothing stops you. So for me, um, even though I didn't really see it as a career, I just did it
Hmm.
for fun. I did it because it made me happy. And till this day, it's something that I love to do. And
Yeah, so I'm gonna jump with some questions from the audience
sure.
as my questions evolve here with this interview. So that's are one of your good fans, your number one fan, one of your number one fans, because you have so many number one fans. You have multiple number one fans. Moni Rodriguez says, just curious, how long did it take you to get confident with your mixing?
Okay, that's a good question. By the way, hello, Moni. How are you? Um, yeah. How long did it take to get confident in my mixing? I would say, man, for mixing, I felt confident during
Mm-hmm.
the first 2 years or so, but I I think it's something that just gradually evolved. I don't think there was a set point where I was like, oh, I'm confident in my mixing, because even till this day, I still get a little nervous, at parties or big events where I'm not I'm comfortable, but sometimes I may not be confident in what I'm playing, because obviously DJing is not just about mixing, but also song selection, reading the crowd, and making sure everyone's having a good time. So yeah, I don't think there was a a point where I had, oh my, this is where I feel confident in doing this now. I mean, I think it just gradually evolved into it. I think it just I think there's just a time span that it took for me to get confident in my mixing style. Um, However, if the question was talking on the microphone, that's a different story. That took several years for me to get confident in, because I was a introvert before becoming a DJ. So talking on the microphone for me was a big deal, and I would get nervous even when I was doing weddings and quinceañeras and stuff like that, where I had to MC. I would have my moments of stuttering on the mic, and being nervous about saying the wrong thing, and it was nerve-wracking for me. It was a nerve-wracking situation. But yeah, mixing, it didn't take that long for me to feel confident until I was able to pass that threshold of playing at a lot of club events.
Cool,
So
cool. Okay.
being a bedroom DJ, it's different
Yeah.
because you're
In the
to
bedroom, you can
yourself.
do whatever you want. You mess up, oh
Yeah.
well. But it's a little different when you're in front of people. That's what I tell all my DJ students. I'm like, hey, make all you don't worry about making a mistake now. We're making
Yeah.
the mistakes now the way we don't have to make the mistakes when we're in front of people. You know.
Right, right, right.
I want to tell everyone who's the questions have started piling in right now. So, tell everyone who's adding questions right now. I'm gonna bring your question up as the interview evolves, because I don't want to jump all over. Trying to keep a timeline here of DJ Soltrix. So as soon as I feel your question is relevant to where I'm at in the interview, we're going to get it out there. Okay, so don't worry. I have your questions pinned as they're coming in, but don't get upset if I don't mention them right now. Okay, all right. Um, let's evolve now from, all right, you're out of the bedroom, getting ready to get out of the bedroom. You're like, all right, I can do this live, right? When's the first speed or me, not the first Speedy, but the first DJ Soltrix gig was it Latin music or what?
Oh man, do private events count?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
absolutely.
All right.
That's how I
So
started. Yeah.
yeah. So all right. So my first private
No,
event
you could
was
curse, by the way, if it feels natural to you. Yeah,
no,
we don't
no.
have no FCC regulations here.
I'll keep it clean. I'll keep it clean. But yeah, I think my first gig was a quinceañera,
Yeah.
and I was doing it for at the time when I was working my 9 to 5 job. I had a supervisor that was looking for a DJ, and they wanted to have a they asked me first. I'm like, oh, I heard you're a DJ or whatever, this and that, or at the time I haven't even DJ'd one event yet, so I was like, yeah, I'm a DJ, sure, yeah, okay, whatever. And then I didn't even know what to charge at the time, so I didn't, I had my equipment and everything, because I had that stuff at home and already just for myself. But yeah, that first quinceañera was kind of eye opening for me, because that was the first and only time I felt confident DJing Latin music. I've
Mm,
never mixed Latin music. Most of my time in the bedroom,
right. Right.
um,
House
you know,
music,
dur- house
dance.
music, dance, electronica. That was my passion. That was it for me. But in order to during that time, in order to earn extra income as a DJ, you had to play what the masses enjoyed, and at the time was for quinceañera, what do you expect? Spanish music. So Speedy, literally, I only
Mm-hmm.
had 2 Spanish songs in my crate. Joe Arroyo, La Rebelión,
Yeah.
and Los Hermanos Rosario, La Dueña del Swing. Those are the only two songs that I
Wow.
had in my Spanish uh, library, I guess you could
Yeah.
say, or CDs, you know.
Uh-huh.
So I had to, back then Napster, I guess, I think it was Napster, LimeWire, where you
Yeah.
could download
So you
music.
had to download the top 20 real quick,
Yeah,
or
I mean,
or the top 20 hot Latin tracks.
exactly. So, I mean, and I back at the time, I wasn't really earning a lot of income for me to spend money on music like that. Otherwise, I would have bought. By the way, support your artists, support people that are selling
Absolutely.
music.
Absolutely.
But at the time, for me, I was broke. I was doing my 9 to 5 thing. I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna be doing Spanish events for like that all the time. So I just downloaded whatever I could for free on Napster and used it to play at the event. And surprisingly, it went very well. I was actually impressed. I mean, it wasn't. I was impressed with myself,
Mhm.
but
Did
I
you feel
knew.
like you were well versed in Latin music at that? At least you knew what
Oh,
to play, or you were just winging
no,
it?
no, not at all, not at
No.
all,
Wow.
absolutely not. So, I just, like you said, looked at the top 20 Latin tracks at the time. I think it was, that was when Dale Don Dale Don Omar was coming out,
Mm-hmm.
Daddy Yankee Gasolina. That's
Yeah.
when reggaeton was starting to
Right.
pop
Right.
off.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, those I started downloading those tracks and try to mix it as if it were house music, like play the whole song, fade in, fade out, wait for the outro. Back, obviously it was
Mm-hmm.
no intro outros that big back that popular back then, but
Right.
it was it was just something I had to play by ear the best I could, and everyone at the quinceañera had a great time. So yeah, that was my first gig. That was a bit nerve wracking for me, but I'm glad with the turnout.
So was that the catalyst for you saying, you know what, I could do the Spanish music?
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
yeah, it was, it
And you were like,
was,
I could do Spanish music. I need to do some homework. Let me do some more preparation.
yeah, it absolutely was.
And all you aspiring DJs out there, preparation is what you have to do. I mean, you have to. You still, even me and Soltrix to this day, before we go do a gig, we still got to prepare regardless. You know what I mean? We have to get our music in order, see what's going on, make sure we have our stuff.
Yeah,
Make sure our stuff works. Preparation you never stop doing homework. That's the even if it's something you love. You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always got to
Um,
be prepared.
so from the quinceañera to the next gig, what's that look like? I mean, we're talking about nightclubs already, or we're still more private parties?
Yeah, it was more private parties, just quinces, weddings here and there. I remember asking my dad to tag along
Mm-hmm.
to do the emceeing because at the time I couldn't really talk on the mic. I didn't feel
Right.
comfortable talking on the microphone.
Uh-huh.
So my dad was actually going with me and helping me at some
Oh, that's
events.
dope.
Yeah, I did some family parties, New Year's parties with the family. I was DJing, just personal stuff really. And bef- during all that, eventually I jumped into nightclubs and bars. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you remember Black Beans,
Yes,
the
Black
cafe. That
Beans.
was my first bar
Yeah,
gig.
that's Hiraldia now, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was my first bar gig, and it was
Wow,
yeah, it was pretty cool.
that's awesome. That's awesome. So this Soul Tricks now. Let's see if I get into some questions here. Let's see. What job did you do before the DJing became a full time thing for you? That's
Oh
Jaylene
yeah,
is asking this one.
okay, Janine, hi.
Mhm.
So the job that I had before DJing was I worked at a lab company called Quest Diagnostics, and I was basically like a call center rep. And they said I had the voice for it. I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
Because that man, you got a good radio voice, man, and
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah. I
glad that
mean,
you finally found your voice, especially when you're doing your YouTube lives and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Even though
yeah,
bilingual and you feel more confident in Spanish is great.
right.
I think it's awesome, man. But that's interesting. You had that job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was after a while I hated it. And that's when I decided for myself, I'm like, man, I'm not gonna live my life doing this job forever. So I was like, I need to get out of this somehow. So eventually I just started saving up money, bought my equipment, and went transitioned into DJing to the point where I was earning income, and then I was able to quit. But yeah, that was my 9 to 5 job. And yeah, it was pretty cool. people. I remember one of the things I remember the most because my mother worked at Quest as well. We were working together in the same
Mm.
department. So my mother was like a few
There's a
stations away, I guess you could say.
there's a word for that. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think of it right now.
cubicles.
No, when you're working with your family members, there's a word for that.
Oh,
I forget now. It's a big word out there. Somebody will help me on the chat here. But um. So when did you decide? Okay, I'm done with this.
yeah, no, it was I think 4 years into it. I was like, okay, this is enough. And then by the fifth year, I was out.
Yeah.
So
Dang. So, but that was the solution. Like, yo, I'm DJ Soltrix now. I'm gonna do this.
no,
That was the
not at
solution.
all,
No, no.
not at all, not at
It
all.
had to be
It was just the income, the income.
nepotism. Yes, that's the word.
Right.
It's a little bit of nepotism going on there. That's fine though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I do remember what one of the most memorable moments I had at working at the job was people would call in, and I still remember the phrase. It still haunts me to this day.
Uh-huh.
Thank you for calling Quest Diagnostics. This is David. How may I help you? And literally, people on the other line would think, "Wow, did I just call a radio show?" You know what I mean? Because of the radio voice. So I was like, it was a compliment to me. I said, thank you. Yeah, no, but this is you called the lab. How can I help?
Money says you began your quest into the music industry. That's what you did.
That's a good pun. Yeah, yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. So we are doing nightclubs now. DJ Soldiers is nightclubs in the Latin scene.
Yeah.
How do you? Yeah, yeah. I can contest to the fact that you helped in the reggaeton boom part of the late part of the reggaeton boom and the nightclubs here in Tampa, Florida, and how did it feel doing that? You know, being
Uh, like being part of the
yeah,
reggaeton.
you're like what, we're playing this music, man. It's popping and it's becoming a worldwide phenomena. As we're rocking in the clubs. I mean, how did it feel? Like just represented it and having it represent you as a DJ. At the moment, at that moment in your time, you're doing
Yeah,
the radio mixes. You're doing the clubs.
yeah, yeah. No, I definitely enjoyed it. Was it my main passion? The DJing part of it was, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
But coming from my background, obviously the EDM and house music has always been my bigger passion. You know what I mean? So,
Right,
but
right.
but in order to sustain myself in earning that paycheck back
Mm-hmm.
then,
Yeah.
I had to get involved in the reggaeton and the salsa, and being part of that reggaeton movement when it was
Right.
coming up. It was
Mm-hmm.
pretty cool, because I got to see a new genre. Well, yeah, I guess you could say it's a new genre, right? Reggaeton,
What's the
sort of.
subgenre that became a genre or became its own
Yeah,
genre?
because it stemmed off of reggae dance hall,
Yeah, yeah.
but the let's say subgenre of reggaeton, uh, once it I got to see it from the beginning to where it's at today. So it's like watching a music genre grow from scratch, and someone made up this sound. Was it Looney Tunes? I think the producer. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, he's one of the
yeah,
producers, yeah.
yeah, he had this sound made it different, and it just evolved to this
Mhm.
day, and it
And I'm
continues evolving.
and I bring this up because you're like, no, Speedy, I wasn't really a reggaeton DJ anymore or whatever. But I bring it up because this is also the part of you becoming a producer now. So what becomes you're spinning these records in the club, doing these quinceañeras and stuff like that, starting your regular DJ career. When did we start like dabbling with as far as the DJs know you, the DJ community knows you as the founder of LatinRemixes.com, shameless plug, and co-owner of LatinRemixes.com, should I say? So when did the bug of what? I think we need to make a edit of this to
Mhm.
work for me better. When did that producing bug bite you, and how did that start?
Again, that's from inspiration, hearing another DJ at the time do it. I was inspired by this New York DJ that started frequenting Tampa nightclubs, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually moved. You know
Mm-hmm.
him, DJ Little J.
Yes.
So he inspired me to get into Latin production because when I first heard him, when I first heard about him, he was playing his own music. I was like, I was hearing different versions
of the
let's
songs
say
you were playing. Yeah, or we
yeah,
were all playing. We're all playing the same
yeah,
stuff.
we were all playing the same songs at the nightclubs, right? We
Yeah,
played with the
yeah, what the
top
people want,
40,
right?
right? What the
Yeah.
people want, what's hot,
Hmm.
and he was playing it in a way where the track was different. You know, like you don't hear the original song. He transformed it and made it his own. And I, you know, when I talk about him, I remember one night after his set, I was talking to him about it, and you know, he said he basically just he's a Latin producer. He does his own thing. He takes the vocal of the song, the acapella, and he would add his own music, his own beats, his loops, and throw it all and do chops and effects and
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
stuff with it.
yeah.
So
Well, I think
the
we
one
all were like, "Oh man, I mean, this is a we didn't know we could do this till
yeah.
we heard somebody else do it." Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing that amazed me the most was when he took a house sample and blended it with reggaeton, and
Hmm.
just exploded my mind because I was like, you know, my house music background, and
Right.
this guy's doing reggaeton in house. I was like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And of one of the most popular songs, I was like, man, that's so cool. How did he do it? And that's when it bit me. The production bug kind of bit me. I was like, man, I want to do this too. Like I want to create my own ideas and infuse house music into reggaeton somehow and apply the same effects,
Hmm.
same production techniques that house
Right.
music producers do. Maybe I could do it with reggaeton, you know, like I was like,
Hmm.
that's what was going through my head.
Right.
So so yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
that's when
you,
it
so that's when it bit you.
yeah.
So you sat down on a computer. The first software you used was.
Oh, Cool Edit Pro, technically
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, yeah. You
for
know,
audio edit.
it's Adobe Audition for all this new
Yeah,
people that want something to play around with right
yeah.
now.
The OG version was
Yeah,
Cool Edit
the
Pro, and now
OG.
it's Adobe. Yeah.
Yep.
But my first production, you know, working with music, like
Right.
actually diving in and creating loops and doing edits and stuff,
Hmm.
and it's still to this day the program that I use. It's FL Studio.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, so you you're doing your own edits now. You're involved with some websites for where. When did it become? Man, I think I could do a business with this DJ service. You know, it's technically it's a service you're providing to other DJs. You know, what you know they pay you for a monthly fee or a track or whatever. And when did you say, you know what, I could do this service?
Yeah, so there was you know, there was already American music DJ services out
Mm-hmm.
there, but there wasn't one yet for Latin. So you know, when you're as a DJ, you're looking for intros, outros to be able to mix your music with, and you know, for DJs and their sets.
Right.
And the American music market was hot with it. Crooklyn Clan was
Right.
one of the
Uh-huh.
websites,
Yep.
Crack for DJs, a lot of you know, a lot of American DJs, club DJs, you know, bar DJs are buying off of these sites
Right.
of edited music and you know, basically remixed versions of popular songs. And there was nothing out there yet for Latin music. So the first Latin music website was by that guy I mentioned earlier, DJ
Mm-hmm.
Little J.
Right.
The it was called Latin Remix Kings at the time, and
Mm-hmm.
that's when me, him, or it was his website, but other aspiring producers from all over the U.S. and you
Right.
know parts of Europe as well
Mm-hmm.
joined the site to create edited versions of you know music, basically a DJ service. So after that, you know, I was there for a couple years, and then eventually I branched out to create my own business, and that's where LatinRemixes.com came from, and partnered up with a you know a friend of mine, and yeah, to this day we're still operating, and you know for the DJs. Putting out edited content, you know, for if you need extended music, intro, outros,
I'm gonna
Latin
put the link.
remixes.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna put the link right now in the chat. Remixes.com for everyone who doesn't know about it, and of course for the people listening to the audio version of this podcast, let them know
yeah.
it's simply LatinRemixes.com. So if you want to go check that out, if you're a DJ, you want to get some cool remixes, I subscribe to it. I highly recommend it. Okay. Let's move on now. Let's talk about The dance scene, our favorite subject.
Oh, yes.
Now, a lot of the gentlemen, there's a lot of DJs in here, and there's a lot of different people from the dance community across the United States listening to the show because they know you as the Bachata Remix King, and this is when we get into that side of the story. Okay.
Yeah.
First off, before let's look at some of the questions that I highlighted here. We have Terra Marco. He's asking, what do you do when you cannot find the acapella of a song? Do not do anything.
Technically, yeah, that's the right answer.
But if you really want to, what's the cheat hack? The quick cheat hack.
So this is a touchy subject because you can make a remix out of an acapella still,
Mm-hmm.
and you could take that music and delete the acapella and use that instrumental now as something fresh, basically. You know what I mean? So to answer your question though, acapellas, if I can't find one, then I won't touch it. I won't do it. But if I insist on doing the song, I would have a singer re-sing it for me, someone with an identical
Ah,
voice
there you
to
go.
the original singer, or create a fresh sound. Let's say I want to take a very high tempo, upbeat, high energy track, and the
Mm-hmm.
vocals are just way too strong for to do a bachata remix out of. I would ask a cover artist or someone that's available for studio recording and do vocals to sing the song, but at a softer tone, I guess you could say. So that way, it's more sexy, more sensual. Um, but yeah, if I can't find an acapella to a song that I want to do, then I would just take whatever's available, even if it's a bad sounding acapella. I would make the music around it, then take out the acapella once I'm done, and have someone else re-sing the vocals. Say that I have the music available.
So
All
you're
you
in the
got to do
key
is
of
sing.
the music. So all the remix or whatever instruments you did are in the key of the song. That way you
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Same chords,
yeah, the same
same
chords and
same
everything.
instrument. If I do anything different, of course, I would let the singer know, like, hey, this part is for a guitar solo, but then you continue the verse after the guitar solo, or go back to the chorus after the bridge, or whatever. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would make my own little arrangement to it, and basically make the song my own,
Yeah,
so to speak.
that's awesome, man. Let's move on now. This is your life. DJ Soltrix interview here on the Speedy Junior's podcast. We're doing what we call on radio a radio reset for everyone who's joining us now. Shouts out to everyone on listening to us on Soltrix's YouTube channel. How's it feel to be over 40,000 followers on your YouTube channel, buddy?
Oh man, it feels great.
Yeah,
Yeah, we hit 40,000 this year, and
yeah.
I'm actually very proud of that. Thank you everybody for subscribing and supporting the music. I really appreciate it, and yeah, thank you so much. I'm very blessed
Excellent,
by you
excellent.
guys.
Let's move on. We're making remixes, Latin remixes. You're making remixes to reggaeton stuff, intros and DJ outros, and salsa, merengue, bachata. And so, now is where the social scene comes into play, right? Me and you have always been involved in the social scene here in Tampa, you're from the salsa caliente days. Shouts out to Erica, and the social scene is a little different than a regular nightclub, and I'll let you expand on that rather than me do that. But give everyone here who doesn't know, who's not involved in the dance scene community, the difference between a dance social and a regular Latino night.
Yeah, so my first dance event gig was at the first ever Tampa Salsa and Bachata Festival. If I'm not mistaken, it was in 2014, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
2014 or 2013, one of those years. It was the first Tampa Salsa Bachata Festival, and I was booked through DJ Tigre, who at the time I was teaching him how to DJ.
Oh, okay.
So
That's an
yeah,
interesting detail you just gave right there live.
yeah, I'll get into more detail on that later if you want to know about that. But
Yeah, I do. Okay,
yeah,
we
yeah,
can circle
sure.
back to whatever you want. We
Yeah,
got all
yeah,
the
yeah. No,
time in the
we'll
world.
circle back, but I'll
All
answer
right.
that question, the one
Okay.
that was asked. So during that time at TSBF, what I was seeing was incredible. It was just people out there, wanting to dance. It wasn't like a normal nightclub crowd, like in the sense where guys are there to hook up, pick up girls, and girls are out there getting drunk or whatever. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
There were people there actually there to pay attention to the music, pay attention to what the DJ's doing, and at the same time, uh, dance. Dance is what motivates everyone in the obviously in the dance scene. So
Right.
um so it was a bit of an eye opener for me because I didn't know about this community until that time when I
Mm.
first played at TSBF, and ever since then I was impressed by it. I was fascinated by it. So I just from then on I was I was experimenting with bachata music. I didn't really care for it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
My first bachata experiment was Coldplay Clocks.
Oh,
Um,
okay, and that
and
actually answers Moni Rodriguez's question. She had asked, "You had a countless list of amazing remixes. Was Clocked your very, very first remix you made?"
oh yes, yes it was. So after seeing that remix being played at these big uh festivals where there's like literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people in one room dancing, I
Mm-hmm.
was just fascinated by it, and especially they're dancing to something I created from scratch. So that to me was like an inspiration and motivation to okay, maybe there's a niche in this market to pursue. But we'll answer that later. More if you want to more know more into that, ask me later. But to answer the question, the difference between nightclub and social dance
Mm-hmm.
is the nightclub obviously you're there to get for the majority of the people, not everyone. You're there to drink, get drunk. Guys are out there to pick up girls, whatever. Hang out with friends, birthday celebration, all that stuff. And the social scene is more for dance. Obviously you're there to still have fun and dance, and but in a more clean way. You're the majority of the people that go out to dance socials are people that are not there to hook up or anything. They're just there for the love of dance and the love of music.
Okay. So you're already doing these cool, awesome remixes. You have your first dance event experience, social experience. Is that when you decided, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do. These guys kind of like bachata a lot. Is that what you did? Is that what the evolve? And you said, I'm gonna make this remix. Do you play around with these bachata songs, or how did that evolve to the Soltrix that a lot of people have been introduced to, the bachata remix king himself? How did it evolve from, the getting introduced to the social scene to being a monster bachata remixer?
Uh, Again, it's from what I mentioned earlier. It was
Mm-hmm.
a video of Tigre was sent it to me. He was playing at a festival in Europe, and
Mm-hmm.
just watching people dance to something I created was like wow. And especially it wasn't just like five people dancing. It was like a huge crowd of dancers.
Wow.
So I was like, oh wow, maybe there's a niche for this, and I was motivated by Tigre to pursue doing remixes, do more of them. So it was during that year, 2013, 2014ish, that I was advancing more into making more bachata remixes, and that's when I was working on projects like the Lana Del Rey, Young and Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I did Zoo's Faded.
Yes.
Chivalry is Dead. That's when all the OG my roots, I guess you could say, my remix roots, the first ones I ever made, became popular and grew in the dance scene, because no one else was doing it at the time. Nowadays you hear remixes everywhere, but
Oh yeah.
during that year, that's kind
No,
of
I think you're a pioneer in that, especially. I could blend the stuff with bachata. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I was,
exactly.
it was kind of like your experience or our experience when we heard intros and outros on tracks that were spinning already. Oh, we could do that. We could make a edit. We could do it ourselves. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So bachata. Now you're in the remix scene. You're doing these remixes. You see the attention grow and grow and grow. What did you what when did you say when did you say hold up? I need to like stop whatever it is extra I'm doing for work and pay attention to this now. Like when did it go from I'm trying this stuff and or was it just gradual? Like you would just see like the dancers doing choreography to your remixes, and then was it gradual? And when did you say, oh man, I need to like I need to get somebody to help me with all these bookings. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no.
Like when did it pass from like the idea to realization? There you go. They like, oh man, we're doing it. You know, like
Yeah, no, it was definitely when I started traveling. You know, like I said at the beginning, I didn't expect the DJ stuff to take off as a career. You know what I mean?
mm,
I just did it for fun.
right.
But when you involve production into the game, into what you're doing, things change. So that's why I tell DJs everywhere to get into production if they want to become more easily known in you know, in whatever genre you're working in,
Mm-hmm.
because those productions are everyday things people can listen to when you're not available to DJ. You know, we can't DJ 24/7 and put ourselves out there 24/7. I
We
mean,
try.
we try, but I mean, you can't. But so that's why the productions, whatever you do, you let that out into the world, and people listen to that, you know, on a regular basis. So that's you know, that's why I tell every DJ to get into the production stuff. But I'm sorry, what was the question? I got sidetracked.
When did you say like, oh crap, like
Okay,
maybe
so
like I need
yeah,
help, like
yeah.
like you called a family member to be your manager or something? What happened? You know, I mean,
Yeah,
what?
no, it was yeah, when I started getting more bookings and traveling, I think that's when I decided, man, I'm gonna have to have someone help me with a lot of this stuff, because you know, bookings and organizing flights, hotels, and you know, car rentals if needed, you know, that's a lot of work, every little detail, and if something goes wrong, it becomes a huge inconvenience for me during the trip, you know.
Right.
So, and I've had a lot of inconveniences throughout my career, and let's not name them, but
Yeah, that
uh
happens to everybody, I guess. You know,
yeah,
even when I was touring for a time, I mean, you know,
right.
people,
So
promoters promise something and doesn't come through, and that happens.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I think as I got busy, you know, traveling obviously takes a lot of time. You know, it takes for me sometimes to get from one city to the next, it takes 6 hours, you know, especially traveling across the country. It's definitely tiring. So, you know, coming back from a trip takes me a day or two to recover. Then I have to at the same time manage bookings and work on music. It's definitely something that I've always you know, as I got busier, I needed more help, and you know, eventually I got it. So I was Island Touch at the time was doing a lot of my my assisting. They
Mm-hmm.
were managing all the bookings for me. So but once I went solo, I was like, you know, and I started growing, I was like, oh man, I can't do all this by myself. So eventually I hired an assistant. Shout out to Romanian Spice. And and you know, she helps me with a lot of things that, you know, the administrative stuff that I no longer have time to do. So yeah.
That's excellent. That's excellent. That's excellent. So you're now. Let's go to some of the questions because we're on the bachata tip now and the dancing chip. So I want to hit some of your viewers' questions, and I apologize if it took me a little too long. Tito Ortega asks, how do you see bachata 5 years from now? That's a little broad, so maybe I'll scope it. How do you see bachata remixing 5 years from now? There you go.
You know, if you had asked me that 5 years ago, and I look 5 years to today, I would think that it wasn't going the. I mean, it's growing definitely, but the it's growing in a sense where the major artists out there are helping it grow. Like I feel
Mm,
like bachata compared to other genres is such a small genre. Like it doesn't have the audience that I feel like it really should have. You know what I mean? It's
mm-hmm.
growing, but I feel like it's growing at a very, very, very steady pace. You know what I mean? And I think the dance community is part of that, you know, thanks to that, you know, because as people are on social media and these videos of dancing couples are going viral, people that don't know about bachata see that, and they get it, they want to know more about it,
Right.
dive into it.
Yeah.
But if I were to guess 5 years today, I mean, I think bachata is still going to maintain that trajectory path. One of the things that I've said about my remixes, because if you listen to the stuff I've produced, it incorporates a lot of synthesizers, pads, some kind of like electronic music elements that I try to incorporate into it because I'm trying to develop a new sound, trying to go, trying to modernize it even more compared to today. So my remixes honestly are kind of what I think bachata will sound like in the future. You know what I mean? Because that's why I feel like today, like some of the remixes that I've made, the the mainstream audience isn't ready for it. You know what I mean? Because it's incorporating futuristic sounds. People want to hear the guitar, the piano, the basically the live instruments versus the electronic stuff, which is some people would argue that ruins the feeling that the bachata music has or presents itself. So uh, if I were to guess how it is 5 years, I mean, yeah, it's still going to maintain that trajectory path, but I don't think my style of making remixes how it is today is still going to be at that be there. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's why I've always said my audience is, God bless them for having the ear for understanding what I do.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, the mainstream audience isn't quite ready for the sound that I'm doing now with bachata. So it's it's pretty crazy.
Oh, we were almost there.
And
I
that
mean, when
yeah,
Rosalia and The Weeknd get together and do a bachata track, do you think that was a missed opportunity there
for who?
for bachata as a whole? The
Um from a production standpoint, I feel they could have done better. Definitely it was too simple for my tastes, but they didn't even have from what I've heard and using my ear and
mm-hmm,
background in bachata production,
mm-hmm,
they didn't I don't think they even used any live instruments for that production because the percussion, if you listen to it, it's very computerized. The bass line, I'm pretty sure they used loops for that, and then everything else was just digital. So I feel like it wasn't the traditional bachata sound that most people are used to,
yeah,
but at the same time, it was way too computerized. So my taste in bachata music is kind of somewhere in the middle. So you got your computerized and you got your traditional, and
mm-hmm,
I'm kind of like in the middle. I try to fuse both.
right,
So I feel that um, because of their names, Rosalia, The Weeknd, I feel like the track got its popularity, its recognition, but I don't think the audience really ate it up that much because I mean I haven't checked the charts on it, but
nah,
I'm pretty sure.
it did okay. It did okay. Then there wasn't a big. I think it was a missed opportunity personally.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And if I were to guess, you're dealing with two artists,
Yeah.
Rosalia and The Weeknd. Rosalia, that bachata sound is the European bachata sound, where
Mm-hmm.
from the dance community perspective, a lot of the
Right.
European producers out there
They
produce
do
that way.
little simple or a little simpler.
Yeah, they keep it simple, bachata loops, percussions. Whereas, if you look in the US over here, the DR culture is spread out throughout the United States, and the bachata music
Mm-hmm.
has accomplished so much in this country
Right.
that the sound it still sticks to its roots of the Dominican bachata, the traditional sound.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if I were to guess, Rosalia has her own producers. The Weeknd has his own. I would guess Rosalia had a that track was produced by Rosalia's producers because The Weeknd, we know his music is very
Yeah.
ethereal, very how do I describe his music? It's very unique. Very atmospheric sounds, very lo-fi kind of, I guess you could say. And
Mm-hmm.
there was none of that in the La Fama track that they released together. So
So
I'm guessing Rosalia's producers were on that.
so we're on the bachata remix side of things with the interview here. There's been some a discourse online about live musicians and bachata remixes. And I think a lot of people don't understand what actually goes into a remix, a bachata remix, better than you. So, live and a person who does use singers and musicians when as needed, of course. Explain to people what really goes into a bachata remix and when you what you need from live and when you can, I mean, of course, everyone's got to save money and when you can use samples and different things, right?
Yeah. So for the most part, for remixes, because they're not official versions,
Right.
they're unofficial
Right.
productions,
Yeah.
because Farruko didn't hire me to do pepas or none of that, you know what I mean? So
No, nobody hired you to do nothing. Yeah, and I'm
right,
sure,
right,
and I'm sure
no,
all the money he makes, I'm sure he put his copyright on that video on that YouTube video.
yeah, so so I do recycle a lot of percussions that I use from original tracks. So more of the stuff that's on Spotify that I have on there, like More Than Friends, uh, anything with Melvin War, all those for the most part are original recorded bachata percussions that were recorded for me. By the way, shout out to Joel in New York who does those for me, and
Mm. So you do
he,
use live musicians when it's your own stuff.
right,
Yeah,
right,
and you're gonna
exactly.
make all the money, which is of course you're investing the money. You're hiring these musicians. You know.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So for original content, I do hire musicians to but I also direct them on what sound I want. So
Right.
the remixes, however, those are recycled. So for remixes, the percussions are recycled from old projects, other projects that I've done. And the bass lines and guitars and all the guitar work, I still have a fresh guitarist on that
Mhm.
for me. So
Mhm.
every remix project I do, I use a guitarist that to create their own melodies. And
Right.
when I work with a guitarist, I give them the free will to do what they want. I basically tell them the direction I want, whether the guitars need to be at a soft, mellow vibe, romantic, or if I want it to be high energy, uplifting, and crazy. So several guitarists that I've worked with, Tito Ortega, who was one of the main ones
Mhm.
that was on a lot of my projects. He understood that, and he sent me, for example, some guitars that were like so awesome. I'm like, man, don't touch it. Send it to me like this. Perfect. And there's also other times where I was like, okay, no, this part is a little too much for me. Let's change this minute 30 seconds. Change that part. The guitar's too loud here. Maybe soften it more. Let's do it. Or I don't like the idea. Let's start it. Let's do a new arrangement. And there's a lot of back and forth when I'm working with guitarists. So other than that, the remixes, the only live parts that are fresh that I use are guitars. Everything else, I do it from recycled or from creating melodies, synthesizers, piano, any of that. I do it in the studio and you know my own arrangement basically.
Cool. Cool. I want to get more of these questions out of the way from everyone. Everyone's popping questions, and the shout out to everyone who's still with us here on the live stream. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here. I'm sure you guys got important things to do at 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time here in the United States. But if you're watching it worldwide as well, thank you so much for hanging out with us here. We're talking to DJ Soltrix about his history. If you're listening to the audio version of this, go and give it a rewind. You can check out how he started, man, from very humble beginnings, and that's why I wanted to bring you on the interview because I think a lot of your new fans don't know the David Rodriguez. They just know the Soltrix. You know what I mean? It's kind
Yeah,
of sad that we have these alter egos, right?
yeah, it's true.
It's like they have these perceptions of what we are, and we're not really like that, man. We're just normal dudes.
Yeah, yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, I'm sure you get it too. Do
all
I
the
call you?
time, man.
Do I call you Lewis or do I call you Speedy Junior? Do I
All
call
the
you David or
time.
I call you
Yeah,
Soltrix?
yeah, man. That's why I want to get you on get an official interview up, with you, because I know you done. I have some other the dance community guys have gotten some blogs up interviews with you and stuff like that. I've seen some of those, but I don't think I was like, man, Soltrix has not done a video to video or in-person interview? And I said, I'm gonna be the one to do that. That's why I wanted to get you up on here, man. We're gonna blow this up, man. It's going on lamesca.com, all that good stuff. So, YGRPZ says, how long did it take you to make your first successful remix?
Well, let's define the term successful.
I guess that's the key word, maybe.
Yeah,
Because I'm sure you made a
it's
bunch of remixes that weren't successful, maybe, or
yeah.
at least you
So,
don't deem them successful.
well, I mean, so for me, a track that's successful for me anyway is something that came out so good, like the production value is top notch.
Mm,
To others, the term successful means it's out there, it's popular, it's viral.
right.
So I'll answer it from both perspectives, I guess. From one of the projects that I did that was the most successful in sound and production value, I would have to say was Wonderwall, which to this day is my longest remix yet. I do believe it's over 6.5 minutes long. But yeah, that was the production value of the track was very intense. It took a lot of work, and it was I'm proud of the way it came out.
Okay.
Now, as far as successful in the sense of viral and popular, I would go with the weekends often because that one did go viral, and I even saw that the weekend himself retweeted a meme
Yeah, that was
that
big.
had that had the audio of my remix version to the track often. So so to me that was big. I remember I was in Trinidad and I saw that post and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I was like, I had goosebumps everywhere, and I saw the tweet and I saw the comments, how people loved it, and there were more memes stemmed off from the remix. Unfortunately, I didn't really get credit for the viral post, other than a couple, social media, um, what do you call them, inspirers, social media famous people on social media that would tag me in their posts and create a meme out of it. But it was a big deal for me because not only was it the fact that the Weeknd himself retweeted it and recognized it, but
Hmm.
also the comments of people that loved the track, that loved the sound, that would have never imagined the Weeknd on a bachata song. Period. So it was an eye opener for me because it was during a time where I wasn't heavily inspired continuing on doing bachata productions. Uh, and I that just refueled my motivation again to keep making music to the max. And all the beautiful comments of people saying how they love the track. Where can I
Right.
find more? It was a big boost for me. So I
That's
would say the
awesome, man.
often was the most successful as far as recognition, as far as going viral, and
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
All right. So more viewer questions here. Let's get these questions knocked out. Here we go. Here's one. When is Soltrix mixing African music? I think you got a you got a
What?
house track. When you gonna do some African house? There you go.
I don't intend to do any. Maybe in the future, who knows? I'm
I
diving
think he wants
more
you to do
into.
some maybe some zouk or some kizomba remixes or
Yeah, I
something.
mean something like that.
You
I
know what
mean,
he's
I
talking
don't.
about?
Yeah, right now I have no intention of doing African music, but I'm right now exploring house music production. So maybe who knows? In the future I'll probably make a African inspired house track. Who
There you
knows? We'll
go. There
see.
you go. Hunter Truce asks, well, how does Soltrix feel being considered cool?
Thank you. I guess it feels great.
All right. This is a mixer, a mixing DJ question. Here you go. The nerdy DJ question. How do you handle crowds that prefer to hear the entire track from start to finish, salseros or bachateros, when you're in the social mode there? This is from Ivan Navarro. Shout out to Ivan.
So that's always been a debate.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously in nightclubs you could do whatever you want. Preferably you cut the songs in nightclub
Yeah.
environments because
You're trying to keep
you
the
know
energy going. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And but handle crowds. I think what this person is asking is letting the song right out to the end, to the
Right.
very last beat,
Mm-hmm.
um, versus what I do, which is mixing. You know, I still play the whole song, but I blend it and mix it to the next tracks very seamlessly.
Right.
So to handle the crowds that don't like that, you know, it's what can I say? You know, that's how I've DJ'd my whole life. I don't do the stop and play that a lot of DJs nowadays do as socials, because I know the audience, you know, some audience people just prefer that. But I personally am there to keep a balance of my style, which is blending and selecting music and playing the tracks that I feel people like. And at the same time, I'm representing myself as Soltrix and playing the music
Right.
that people know me for. And the way I DJ is the way I DJ. It's just something that it's a very touchy subject. You
Yeah.
know, you're not gonna please everybody.
No, you're
Is
not.
something I've learned in the being a DJ, because no matter what, you're always gonna have one person complaining in the crowd. You know, even if it's not verbally out loud, in their mind they're like, oh,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So you know, it's everyone has their own tastes, and you know, I respect that. If it came to the point where I'm mixing, and if my mixing interrupts a dance floor and nobody's dancing because I'm blending two tracks for 30 seconds at most, and it creates a bad vibe and people aren't dancing, then I'll be like, okay, so I'll do the stop and play thing. That's what people want. I respect it. But so far that hasn't really happened for me, you know. I think a lot of dancers appreciate the style of
The
mixing.
option. The option. You want to keep
Yeah,
dancing
the
with whoever you're dancing with? You have the option now.
right, the style,
Where
exactly.
necessarily you might not have had that option before with another DJ, and that's why I like me personally. I like to let the song finish,
Right.
do the mix. That way, a dancer hears the mix and they can decide now. Oh, the DJ is mixing the song, and I can now decide. I have 10, 15 seconds, 5 seconds, maybe at least, to decide if I want to keep dancing or say thank you so much. It's my thank you so much for this dance, and move on to another dancer or another partner, or
Right.
keep dancing with this person, or ask, hey, you want to dance the next song? Hey, let's keep dancing.
Yeah, yeah.
Given the option.
You have the option basically.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, that's kind of what the mixing also provides. And at the same time, you're maintaining a level of energy, whether you're building up or building down through mixing. You're doing it gradually instead of just, you know, after a soft sensual song, you go in with a hard salsa or something. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're switching genres in the social dancing, I agree. Yeah, do the stop and play thing. Like, you know, sometimes I'll even transition with that, going from bachata to salsa
Right.
gradually. But but yeah, I usually keep my sets very linear, unless there's a particular point in my set where I just feel like, okay, I think this is gonna uplift the vibe more, where the music stops and I come in with this. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
it's all how you want your set to go. But as far as handling the crowd that doesn't like the mixing style, you know, it's again, it's something I haven't experienced where I'm mixing and the crowd dies off,
Yeah.
unless we're switching partners. But
Man, the whole chat erupted. I think we hit a nerve with this one.
yeah,
Oh man. But yeah. Let's keep on going with your all your fans and everyone else who's joining us here live on the recording of this interview with DJ Soltrix. Make sure you check him out at djsoltrix.com. Follow him at DJ Soltrix. You're on Mixcloud too, man. You got like 4,000 followers on Mixcloud too. Do you like
yeah.
Mixcloud? Let's talk. Let's get a little DJ nerdy. You did some live on Mixcloud. How do you think the future of Mixcloud is looking?
Hey, I honestly have a lot of respect for Mixcloud.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout the pandemic, that was a website that a lot of DJs used and were able to use without any copyright infringement issues.
Right.
So I applaud them, and I think their platform is a very beautiful thing for DJs. As far as functionality, it still needs its work. You know, there's you know, technical things that you know, technical issues that I don't really like. But you know, to each their own. I think it's eventually going to keep growing. It's going to be a huge platform. You know, a lot of DJs that a lot of DJs are going to use to do whether they're live stream or post up their mixes. But Mixcloud is definitely a platform I do respect.
Yeah, I think it's gonna grow and get better as hopefully, and then Soldier can make the final move and be only on Mixcloud. There you go.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about getting any copyright bans.
Yeah,
And you just
exactly.
only put DJ Soltrix Productions on YouTube. There you go.
Very
And, I
true.
do it live and just play all your original songs.
That way?
Play live and just do all your original songs. A
Oh
DJ
yeah.
Soltrix performance. All your original songs, no remixes.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. I won't get a copyright strike, but
Yeah.
that'll last a good maybe 45 minutes
There you go.
of
Hey, that's
music.
that's an artist set. What are you talking about? You could charge $5,000 for that.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was your first official social your first official Soltrix remix? I think you said it earlier,
Yeah, it
but
was
go ahead and run it.
clocks.
It was
Yeah.
Clocks.
Yeah.
I know. Where's that sitting right now as far as plays, man? Do we know?
Oh, I haven't even checked.
Yeah. But last time you checked, it was a crazy number.
I was man, I forgot the number. Right now, the remix with the most plays is Hotline Bling, with over 4 million. But Coldplay Clocks, I don't think it's somewhere in the 100,000s. I just don't know where. If someone wants to check that, feel
Mm-hmm.
free. But I'm not exactly sure.
That's
But yeah,
excellent, man.
it's a track
What?
that didn't exactly blow up. It's a
Right.
remix that didn't really blow up, other than the time that Tigre was playing it back then in the 2013
Mm-hmm.
2014s. But after that, with the other remixes I was coming out, Clocks kind of drowned out. So but it's still, I consider it my baby. It's like the first one. So it has a lot of value to me.
Here's another question right here. If you weren't DJ Soltrix, what would you be doing right now?
Ooh, that is a good question. Uh, that's a very hard question, because well, I mean, I'll be another DJ name, I guess you could say. I'd probably be doing house music. I wouldn't be doing the bachata stuff that DJ Soltrix is branded for. I'll be a different alias. Is that fair? Is that a fair answer?
Yeah. There you
Or
go. That's fair.
does he mean other than DJing?
Right. I guess maybe.
Other than DJing, I mean, I don't know what I would be. I don't know what I'd be doing, honestly, because the DJing and music has given me such a huge sense of purpose in life that that I honestly wouldn't know what I'd be doing. I'd have to figure it out, I guess, and figure out what else I could be good at. Maybe cooking. I'm diving into cooking now, so I mean, I'm actually pretty good at that. Getting good at that.
Let's see. The next question is DJ Soltrix. What is the most memorable and exciting moment you can share?
What is the most
I guess
exciting
maybe in
moment?
DJing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's keep it in DJing. Here we go.
Okay. Man, I have those. I don't have like a specific moment, but every night that I'm DJing and I play a remix or I play one of my tracks and I just see everyone smiling and dancing and, you know, showing love, wanting to take pictures and stuff like that, I think those are the greatest moments for me during my career. Those are the most rewarding moments, because I do spend a lot of time in the studio working on music, and
Mm.
I it's a reward for me. It's something that, again, going back to that word purpose, it gives me a good sense of purpose that uh I'm inspiring others and making their nights a happy moment. That's what makes me you know those are the best moments for me, that I'm doing something for somebody that who knows what they're going through in life, and they're smiling and dancing to something I created. So
That's excellent, man.
I think
Uh,
yeah.
no, Joanna says it's 185K right now. Clocks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Joanna.
And let's see here. Let's get all these questions. I want to get all these questions out. Milan Guerrero, shouts out to Milan. He says, "What was the benefit of the viral song, or if any other songs were viral? Did you see a big benefit in your career from the viral track? Any
uh
of the tracks that went viral?"
I definitely did
Or
because
you think the hype was fake, or just not?
I don't think so. I think everything you do, even if it's just a little bit, it gets noticed by a lot of people. Even if I don't see it, I do believe something's going on, something's still happening with all the remixes I've done. But the viral ones, yeah, especially because event organizers, promoters see it, they want to book me. That's awesome, and people do dance videos to it and they tag me, and that's also a rewarding thing to see that. And yeah, it's awesome. It gets me more bookings and more recognition and more social media presence. Nowadays, I mean, I try not to focus too much on social media, but I know as a DJ, I have to be on it and put stuff out there. So
Yeah.
those that tag me and stuff, I basically just repost it, and it keeps my presence out there in a way, or the music of the projects I've done. So
Jamie, shouts out to Jamie. She's asked, what about original works, David? Want to talk about what goes into the importance of doing your own original music as a producer, or as a DJ, as a
yeah.
DJ transitioning to a producer. How important is the original works?
Yeah, it's very important, especially if you want to get into you want to attract a mainstream audience and not just a specific community. Yeah, it's definitely important creating original stuff. It also releases more, for at least for me, my creative juices to. It's a challenge, versus following from a, I'm speaking production terms now.
Go ahead,
Following
get it nerdy as you want.
following a chord structure of
Mhm.
another track and just doing it, and all that is fun and dandy and all that, but when you're doing your own chords, your own music, your own arrangement, your own hiring your own vocalists, lyrics, all that stuff, it all comes from 100% originality. So I think there's a even bigger reward in that when you're working on original music.
Excellent. The boss is here in the live. Finally, she showed up
Yeah.
for the interview now. An hour and 15 in. Let's see here. Vanessa Molina, esta pregunta es en español.
Ay, ay, ay.
¿Hay algún ritmo en que sea más difícil hacerlo bachata? De cambiarlo a bachata.
All right, so help me out here. I mean, my Spanish is good, but not too good. I just
Take a
want to
swing at it.
understand
Go
it.
ahead. Don't care. It's a bilingual podcast. So
¿Hay
that'll be great.
algún ritmo en que sea más difícil hacerlo en bachata? So there's a
See,
rhythm?
there's a rhythm. Is there a difficult rhythm that you can? Is there a rhythm that's very difficult to make into a bachata remix? There you
So
go.
like a genre?
Yeah, genre.
Is that what she
Or-
means? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Um, it's really not about genre. It's more about tempo. So for me, if a song is very high in tempo, it can be difficult to do it in bachata because you're either gonna have to really slow down the song or speed it up even more to a double time where it matches bachata, but then it's gonna sound too fast. So for me, it's tempo. It's not more so the rhythm, because you're taking out the rhythm of the song anyway to put it into bachata. So yeah, there's not really a genre that specifically that is hard to do. Um, but it just depends on tempo. That's a really ¿cómo se dice? Tempo. ¿Cómo se?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And see el tempo or el
tempo. Sí, sí.
yeah. Let's see. Orlando got a lot of questions today. Name a few high-profile artists you collaborated with.
High profile,
Yeah, sure.
as in. Give me an example.
Everyone, and anyone. Sure, everyone's high
I mean, yeah,
profile.
basically, the ones that you see that I've worked with, Melvin. I mean, it depends on the definition of high profile, but I mean, I've worked with Melvin War, Vinny Rivera. My latest release with him, he's a up and coming bachata artist. I've worked with Miggs, who's now, I think he's still going by Miggy Miggs now today.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, and I've worked with more of the I like working more with the profile artists more because they're new, they're fresh, they haven't been discovered, and they have the same hunger for making music as I do. So I like to work more with the low profile versus the high profile artists. So
Cool.
so yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Here you go. Here's a fun one. Name your favorite person in Greece.
My favorite person in Greece, it has to be Leah. Hi, Leah. Fun fact: Leah named her cat after me. Her
Oh,
cat's
really?
her
That's
cat's
a
name
little
is
weird.
her cat's name is Soltrix.
Oh, I thought her cat's name was David. I was like, okay.
No, 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 no. Yeah, Soltrix. So
That's
Soltrix the cat. Shout out to Leah from Greece.
a little
And
weird now.
Soltrix la gata o el gato. I don't know if it's a male or
I'm gonna
female.
share this question. This is a double. I have. Is also part of where I'm taking the interview to. Um, Lucho asks, don't know if somebody asked already, when do you expect your house music album to be finalized and ready for release? As you know, us house music junkies can't wait. And a lot of people love the house music scene, including myself. And I profess not to be a house DJ per se, but I definitely love house music. And I love when, especially when like somebody passionate like you, Soltrix, is doing it and, and going in. And it's just great to listen to, just chill and listen to it.
Yeah.
Recently, and also to part of the interview, recently you made public that your wish is to not necessarily retire from the bachata remix scene or the social scene, but you wanted to focus more on your passion, which is the EDM and the house music. So I would like to give you the opportunity to clarify anything here on the show and let everyone know what you're working on. What's this house music project?
Yeah. So just to clarify what you said there. Definitely I'm not retiring, I'm not quitting doing bachata music. It's just what I tell everyone is that it's not my primary focus as it's been throughout the years. I feel that kind of in a way I've already paid my dues with the bachata remixing, and now there's so many people doing it. So it's just a thing that you know I've decided to make a switch from. So the bachata remixes and bachata music I'm still gonna work on, of course. Just it's not gonna be 100% how I've been doing it. So as far as the house side, yes, I'm transitioning into producing more electronic dance music. I've been spending most of my time right now taking master classes, taking online courses to help shape up my sound and learn production techniques that I didn't know before. Because obviously, with electronic dance music, you're doing everything yourself. You're not hiring live musicians.
Right.
You're doing everything on your own. So, which is what I like because I that defeats the waiting time. I have to wait for vocals. I have to wait for guitars in order to continue a production. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
with house music, I could just pick up and do it whenever I want.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely a lot more production involved. It's definitely very, very heavy. A lot of things I'm learning that I didn't know before. So to answer the question, the album and all that stuff, I can't definitively say when because I'm still in the process of right now discovering my sound, where I want to go. But I do expect to release at least one song before, or at least one song during the summer. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I mean, I'm still, like I said, I'm in the learning process and discovering my sound. So it's just taking some time and a lot of hours. So
Here's another question. Soltrix to scratch these. How's your turntablism, Soltrix?
how's my
Yeah, you
turntablism?
just get some scratching, so kind of scratching. I'm getting DJ nerdy now.
I do baby scratches. I do
Yeah,
baby scratches. I don't go too hardcore into it like the turntablists do nowadays. But
yeah,
a little here and there when I'm mixing Latin music and I'm doing fast pace
yeah.
mixing. I'll do a little here and there just
There you
to
go. I've heard you do it. You're pretty good, man. You go
I'm all
part of,
right.
yeah. Let's see here. I think we got one more question from Orlando. Orlando, man, take advantage of here. If you had to pick, where is the best venue you DJ'd? I know you
Oh
DJ'd a lot.
man,
West
yeah,
Coast, mid United States,
yeah,
down south, up north, New York, Chicago. I mean, that's a lot of places, man.
yeah. There
I
is
think you even did Nashville, right? You did a bunch of different places.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Nashville. No, yeah, I've been everywhere. I would say this question is an easy answer for me because this particular venue stood out for me because of how heavy it was with lights and video and such a big room with a lot of ambience. It was in an unlikely city. It was in Kansas City. It was inside of a casino. The venue was
Kansas
called,
City. Interesting.
yeah, it was a Harrah's Casino, I remember. And inside Harrah's Casino, there's a nightclub in there called Voodoo Room. Either
Oh,
Voodoo
I
Room,
like the name already.
yeah, Voodoo
Let's
Room
open a
or
club like that, Soltrix, called the Voodoo Room. We'll
Voodoo.
take
Yeah,
over. We'll take over the whole Tampa Bay area. The Voodoo
yeah,
Room.
man. Yeah, so it's called Voodoo Room or Voodoo Lounge. I don't recall the exact second word, but that club or that venue, I should say, it was amazing. It had 2 floors, big stage. The DJ is up on stage. There's a big video screen. A lot of animation going on in that venue. So it's definitely visually, uh, it's like breathtaking how amazing that venue is, and the sound was incredible too. So it was just a whole high level vibe in that place, man.
Wow, Kansas City. Who would have thought?
Yeah, Kansas City, man. They got it. If you guys are ever out there, check it out. Voodoo Room or Voodoo Lounge. I forgot the name,
That's
but it's
that's
definitely
wild.
voodoo in that.
Let's see. We got the equipment. What does a DJ need? Do you need a mixer on top? Oh, hey, well, yeah, you're gonna need something: a controller,
Oh yeah,
a mixer to start. You're gonna need you're gonna need the tools of the trade to start. Constructive
yes,
interference. Okay.
yeah,
You will need the tools of the trade to start, and then you can get started, and you know, learning how to fly the
exactly.
plane. There you go.
Exactly. Nowadays, a lot of DJs, the custom thing is to get a controller, which is what I use.
Mm-hmm.
The Serato DDJ, I believe 1000
Yeah.
SRT is what I use.
SRT. Yeah.
And yeah, it's all preference though. I mean, if you want to get into turntablism, obviously, get some turntables and have a little mixer.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into more blending music, the controller is just fine. Um, yeah, it's just all preference. You gotta actually go in and try those out at a music store to determine which one you desire the most. But controller works fine for me. I've been doing controller now ever since it came out.
What is your favorite original track, Soltrix, right now?
Favorite original track?
Your own production, because that's what it's all about, man. I mean, working on your own stuff. So, what's your
Yeah,
favorite that you say that you sit back and you're like, you know what? I'm proud I did that. I'm sure you're proud of everything, but just
yeah.
one that just really stands out right now.
Well, most recently, the track I released with Vinny Rivera, "Taste of You," came out very very nice. I
Huh?
would
Taste of
say,
You, huh?
yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
my current favorite original out
Oh
of
wait, that's your
my.
new one. I need to add that to the Speedy Junior playlist here.
Yeah, yeah, check it
Let's do
out.
that right now.
And but before that, it was my collaboration with Melvin War. We
Mm-hmm.
did "Doing It Wrong," which is a Drake cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Did you publish that? That's on Spotify or no? That we weren't
yeah,
we
yeah, that
weren't.
one's out. That one's out.
Okay.
"Doing It Wrong" is out, and "Taste of You" just came out 2-3 weeks ago.
Excellent, excellent. Um, let's talk about the original music, man, because that's all about it. If you're not following DJ Soltrix he's got 18,000 or more monthly listeners on his Spotify. The man is doing it big. Okay, original productions. You're not signed to any record label, right, Soltrix? So any record labels that want to sign you, give you a
Not yet.
call.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet.
Email at djsoltrix@gmail.com.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
who wouldn't want to have somebody with 18,000 plus monthly listeners, uh, naturally grown, okay, right,
Right.
on Spotify. Who wouldn't want to have that in there? Yeah. Anyway, well,
Yeah.
I'll rage about it later. But let's talk about all the tracks. I really love More Than Friends, man. That's one of my favorite songs.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That was
talk to me about More Than Friends. How did it come about?
So I had this idea. Actually, the inspiration came from an old trance
Mm,
track that I was messing around with. I was trying to play the chords and try to find out a way to convert it into bachata sound. So when I was working on the music, it basically had the same chord structure, and I tuned it a bit to my liking. I think it's on a different key, but once I had that sound that I wanted, I ended up asking for guitars over it, and again, I gave Tito the freedom to do whatever he wanted, and if we needed to change it later, we could have. So at the time, I was connected to Migs
mm-hmm.
through social media somehow, some way. We were having a discussion, and then
Right.
I told him, "Hey, how about we do a collaboration? I have a track ready to go for vocals. If you want to write music to it and or write lyrics to it and do the vocals, let's do it, man. It's available." So he asked for the track. I sent it to him, and he liked it, and he ended up recording it. Um, and originally, I didn't like the vocals too much because if you listen closely, his vocals are just a tad nasally because he was recording during a day that he was sick.
Mm,
So if you have that ear, if you could listen close, you'll hear his vocals are just a tad nasally, not that noticeable, but from a music producer's perspective, I hear it. But he recorded it, and I told him I liked the idea. Would you be able to re-record? And he wasn't able to because he had other projects. So I was like, all right, that's fine. Let's just release it how it is, and I'll fix it up the best way I can. So we ended up releasing it, and that was my first single. So
excellent, excellent, man.
yeah,
I want to get back to the music before we wrap up the interview. But all these questions keep coming through here. Hold
yeah.
on, let me
Ask
see.
away, ask away.
Yeah, yeah. So you're not in a hurry to go nowhere, right, Soltrix?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. I haven't asked him, but I still don't know how he came up with the name DJ Soltrix.
The question
I
everyone
feel
asks. Yeah,
the massive the one that everyone needs to know for some reason.
yeah. So the word Soltrix was at the time I was trying to come up with a screen name for AOL. Who remembers AOL? And I came up with Soltrix and I put 85. I think that email account still exists. Soltrix 85. So that was my screen name for a while. And when I was diving more into the Latin DJ scene, I guess you could say the Latin DJ stuff, I just adapted Soltrix as my DJ name. It was originally supposed to be for like house music because I was still
Mm-hmm.
mixing house music for little online radio stations.
Right.
And Soltrix was more for a house EDM genre name that I was going for because
Yeah, and that's funny in that you're going back to that genre that you wanted to get into.
yeah.
Um,
So Soltrix is basically a play on two words. Came up with a solar and Matrix because Matrix was one of my favorite movies at the time, and I just did solar Matrix, Soltrix. It was just a play on words. It doesn't mean anything, and I just wanted something that no one had, a phrase or a name that nobody had, just to be able to have a unique screen name on AOL. So I adapted that as my DJ name. So
that's excellent, man. That's excellent.
yeah.
Let's see here. Thank you very much, Rick. Thank you very much. He's loving the interview.
Oh, thanks.
Micha says, "¿Qué es eso AOL?" I think we dated ourselves there. Jenny asks,
That's how old
Jenny.
we are.
Yeah, Jenny says, "What do you miss out of your bachata sessions?" Um, and when is it coming back, man? Are you gonna do it once in a while on Mixcloud, or what are you thinking about?
Yeah, I'm still undecided what I'm gonna do because those bachata sessions did take a lot of my time. Now that I did stop doing it, I have more time to be able to focus on music production and to develop my craft and what I'm trying to do now, which is the electronic dance music. But to answer her question, which was what do I miss? I I definitely miss the reading the chat while I'm doing it. We had a lot of funny moments throughout throughout the months. I guess
Yes.
almost 2 years, I guess you could say, of doing live streaming. And yeah, that we've definitely had some funny moments and experiences. And they got,
Yeah.
a lot of the people that watched got to know me on a personal
I
level.
th-
And I got to know some others out there. And and one of the biggest things too was the support throughout COVID. I think a lot of people knew that I wasn't a working DJ at during 2020 when COVID was
mhm.
starting to sprinkle into our lives.
Right.
And people were supporting me through the live streaming, through tips and donations and stuff like that. And that was a big deal for me because I wasn't getting gigs. A lot of us were not earning income. A lot of DJs. So I'm just glad you know those that were there for me and helped me out, and I was there for them. Because they couldn't go out as well. They're because of the quarantine and whatnot.
Right.
So it was like we were feeding each other, and I think that was the beautiful thing about the live streams that I missed the most.
That's excellent, man. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you did. I try and do a weekly show, two weekly shows, and I have a hard time doing it. And you did so many episodes, man. That man, you did 600 days plus, right?
Actually, 700. Yeah, it was.
700. Yeah,
I
there you
think the
go.
last one was 717. I think
Wow. See, I even
where
have the
I
number wrong.
stopped
Hey.
it. I was trying to go for 1,000, but I was like, you know what? That's another year. If we count it, that's another year. I was like, man, I can't. I don't know if I could be doing this steadily out for another year. Especially because now people are going out. The purpose of that show was to entertain people while they were quarantined, and now that quarantine is out of our existence, the show, I believe the show served its purpose for that time. And it's something we'll always hold in our hearts. At least for me, I'll hold it in my heart forever. And something that we can all look back on together, and
Mm-hmm.
relive through those experiences and talk about them as the days continue moving forward.
Yep. I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Try and do it monthly. Schedule,
Monthly, yeah.
yeah,
I
schedule it
mean,
in just like you schedule a gig. Just say, all right,
y-
you know what, today, on this date of April, we're gonna do a bachata session.
Yeah, the thing is with that is because the gigs, my bookings
Yeah.
now are very sporadic. So like let's
Mm.
say I schedule something for the 24th of a month and someone
And
wants
then
to book
somebody
me that
calls you.
day.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's
Well,
like
I mean, it could be flexible. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be
yeah,
flexible. Yeah.
I'd have to pick a day where I'm least booked, which is I believe Mondays and Tuesdays. I would have to pick one of those days and just do it.
There you go.
Maybe
Maybe that's the solution right there. Yeah, on a Monday or
yeah.
Tuesday, one day out of month, make a
I think
flyer, make a event on YouTube, and then
yeah.
do it.
I think right now because I'm so focused and dedicated to this
To the house thing.
EDM project that I
Mm-hmm.
want to put 100% of my focus on that and do bachata remixes here and there, So the live stream right now is just in the back burner. I'm going to come back into it. And I'm also still going to do my Wednesday night show whenever I have available. By the way, tonight, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Tonight at 9 o'clock, I'll be live here on YouTube mixing some house beats if you guys want to tune in. And then yeah, I think I will eventually be doing a weekly show, a weekly bachata show. I just right now I'm in the process of learning and developing my sound in the house music, and once I have that in progression and I'm at a steady pace of making house music and I find my sound, I'll be able to uh, re-steady my schedule again to incorporate live streaming
I think that's
for
excellent, man.
bachata. For bachata, yeah,
I think that's excellent. Let's go back to the catalog, man. The music catalog.
yeah, sure.
Before we wrap up the show, someone you loved. Another song that I like, man. Tell me how that song came about.
All the Will Gittins.
Yeah.
So that track, I was getting a remix request.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was through Instagram or someone, some random person requested me to do that remix, and I've seen that title pop up several times in charts, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, I've heard the song, obviously, driving in the car, whatever. I pick it up, and then I wanted to do. I guess I was inspired to do a bachata version to it, so I was back to the acapella thing that we were talking about earlier. I was trying to find the acapella to that track, and I couldn't really find it. even though you really don't need it because it's just there's no instrumentation in that song too much. Um, but I did want clean vocals for it, so I was like, man, okay, so I'm gonna have to look for a vocalist to do it. So when I was looking up cover artists on YouTube, I came across Will Gittins, who does a lot of YouTube videos of covers and stuff like that, and I reached out to him on Instagram, and I told him, hey man, and this is funny too because that person is a cousin of a social DJ in Trinidad,
Oh, really?
DJ Mel,
Hmm.
uh, and she's a fan of mine, and she told me that Will Gittins is her distant cousin.
Hmm.
So that was pretty cool,
Interesting.
and so through her connection, he agreed to
Do the vocal?
give the vocal away, and I was like, yes. So then
Excellent.
I have my vocal, and I just basically took the project that I made,
Hmm.
the bachata project that I made, and basically put the vocals in there and mixed and mastered it, and came out the way it was, and that was how Someone You Loved came about.
Yeah. Back to a question I almost missed here. I think you actually touched on it, but back in the way, Janine asks, "What inspired you to showcase on YouTube? What inspired you to start the YouTube channel in the first place?"
COVID,
Yeah.
yeah, quarantine. I mean, DJing is a passion of mine, so it's
Hmm.
something I enjoy doing. If it
And you
wasn't,
already had the YouTube was growing because you were putting out your
yeah,
stuff and your remixes and stuff like
ex-
that.
exactly. So even if I didn't have YouTube, I'd probably still be here just mixing here for fun for to myself for like 30 minutes or whatever. Going back to the bedroom DJ days. but but yeah, it was definitely COVID, quarantine. Also, I was watching other live streamers at the time. Even before COVID, I was picking up some live streams that I enjoyed watching, and I was inspired by them as well. So yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Lucho says it was and still is the bachata sessions that made me get back into DJing, DJ Soltrix, and I thank you for that.
Oh yeah, man. Shout out to
So
DJ Lucho.
nice.
We had him here on the show too, and
Yes, we did.
he
We
had a
did.
good see. You got to meet him too. That's
Yeah, I
right.
did. I was there that
Yeah,
same day.
yeah. Shout out to
Um,
Lucho. Thank you, man.
let's wrap it up with you talked about Taste of You already. That's the new track. All right, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes,
make sure you go
sir.
support the new track. It's out right now. Taste of You, and the one of the who's the artist on this one is
Vinny Rivera.
Jotoy and Vinny Rivera.
Yes.
Yeah, so go and support that one.
Jatoy, yeah,
Yeah,
Jatoy did
Jotoy.
the rap part,
Mm-hmm.
and Vinny obviously did the singing, and I did
Excellent.
the music.
Everyone's got to learn sometime. Another one of my favorite
Oh,
tracks.
I'm
Talk,
surprised you like that one.
I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. Talk to me about it. How to start
So
and how to come about.
that one, that track idea came from being at my mother's house one day. I
Mm-hmm.
stopped by for lunch, and I still remember it. I was just hanging out on the couch, eating, and she had a CD playing that she found in somewhere laying around in her CD booklet that she never opens, and it had uh love song of the 80s, and she put that in there, and I was just listening to it, and I listened to maybe about 3 songs of it, and the third song was Everybody's Gotta Learn Sometime by the Corgis.
Mm-hmm.
And when I heard it, I was like, man, this is so simple but so dope. Like I fell in love with the chord progression and how simple it was, like simplicity. Um, and I fell in love with the instrumentation of the vibe that it represented. So I was like, man, I would love to do this on bachata. And I ended up doing it. I try to copy the same chords, but more using virtual instruments in my DAW, my digital audio workstation. Again, a production term. And I was like trying to figure out what vocalist I wanted to, a cover artist I wanted to have for this.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, at the time, I was going to use Janira, who is on a couple of my other tracks, but my when I showed my mother like what I was working on as a surprise, she said, "No, no, no, no! You got to get a male vocalist like the original track." I was like, "Okay, well, who can I think of that as for male vocals who can kind of emulate this vibe? And immediately I thought of Trevor Wesley, the guy that sings "Chivalry Is Dead," and he has like that jazzy vocal sound, and I was like, man, this guy is perfect for this track. So I hit him up, and you know, he agreed to do the project, and that's how we came about it. And I'm
Oh, it's dope,
so
man.
I'm so
It sounds
happy how
great.
it came out too. We
Yeah.
also used Nalicio for the saxophone parts, who's a musician here in Tampa. He's also a dancer. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah. So he
It's
did the
dope.
sax, and yeah.
Let's talk about before I talk about Janira. I want to talk about Cosimo. You did a whole catalog for the man.
No,
No,
just one.
oh,
Yeah,
I just one. Oh, okay, I see you on.
yeah.
What I see that it seems like you're on. It looks like you're on multiple stuff with him, but I guess not.
Yeah. We did
Well,
sync.
how was that collaboration? Working with that gentleman.
It was cool.
He has his own he has his own thing going on, his own fan base.
Yeah. He's definitely known out there in Italy, in the European bachata scene.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it was cool to work with him. That track, the production, again, it's something that I originally made. Actually, that track was a remix, but since I couldn't find the clean acapella, I ended up just leaving it in the back burner for whoever wanted to write a song to it. So if you listen to it, do you know Body by Loud Luxury? It's a
Yeah.
house
Uh huh.
track.
Yes.
So that that music was produced for that remix, to make a bachata remix to Body by Loud Luxury. And you know, the acapella didn't sound as great, so I just removed the acapella and left it as a track that I have, that if any artist wants to collaborate on, let's do it. So during that time, Cosimo hit me up. He said he was interested in doing a collaboration with me, and I told him, "Oh, perfect timing! I got a track ready for you." And I sent him the music, and he liked it, and that's how it came about. And he wrote the vocals and all that.
That's dope, man. That's great. Let's talk about all the project you did with Janira. Um, the big song, I guess everyone that really loves "I Love You."
Yes.
Let's talk about "I Love You," how that came about. You also did "Roses Dipping Gold." I think that's for her too.
Yes. Yeah,
And then you
we
had a
did
bunch.
three. We did
Yeah,
three tracks
"I
together.
Don't Want to Be You Anymore." Is that another
Uh-huh.
one you did? Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that whole collaboration there. Yeah.
Yeah, so we did three projects. I chose songs that created a whole sexy romantic vibe, I guess you could say. And we chose Billie Eilish. Those are two Billie Eilish tracks, the I Love You and I Don't Want to Be You Anymore. The
Mm-hmm.
originals are by Billie Eilish.
Right.
And the what was the other one? Roses Dipped in Gold was the most challenging project. I remember recording it in the studio with her. The pronunciation on some of the things in that track was just so difficult for her, because
Really.
you know, it's not, it's words you don't really hear in lyrics every day. So that one is by Alina Baraz, the original. So I was trying to create that same vibe with those tracks, but on bachata, and of course with my own flavor to it. So um yeah, that's we decided on keeping it sexy, romantic, me and her. We wanted like a sultry vibe, and we went with those tracks, and that's how the projects turned out. And
Excellent.
the I Love You one was definitely an emotional, very emotional track. You know, I remember sitting in the car with her one day listening to it, and she just started crying out of nowhere,
Wow.
because she was really feeling the music, and how awesome her vocals came out. Um,
That's
so
dope.
yeah. It was definitely an emotional track and an emotional experience for her. And yeah, I'm proud of how it came out and the other projects as well. And yeah, she's definitely a very talented and amazing artist.
I just gave up and started. I just put the whole chat on the screen because they're driving me crazy.
Yeah, there they go. There they
I
go.
gave up trying to share and look for questions.
What's up, everyone?
So everyone's behaving themselves for the most part. So let's let it go. Let's talk about the collaboration you did with Mr. Don, Amor sin condición, Reckless Love. Mr.
Yes.
Don is a pretty big name in the bachata scene, the regular bachata stuff. Yeah, how was that working with him?
Yeah, so with Mr. Don, when I first heard him and that he was a Christian bachata, he's technically considered a Christian bachata artist. Even he's labeled himself that,
Hmm.
and and I was diving into and exploring Christian music at the time. I was going to church on a weekly basis, and there was a particular song that resonated with a lot of Christians called "Reckless Love" by Corey Asbury, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
And it's basically a song about the love of God, and the love He has for His children, and no matter what, that God will always love you as His own, even if you know, even if you mess up, even if um, you fall away from your faith, God will always be there to receive you. So that's kind of like what the song represents. So being that the when I first heard Reckless Love, I mean, I've always wanted to do a bachata Christian cover.
Hmm.
Partly as well because my mother, she runs a Christian online radio station, so I wanted to give her material to use for her radio station, because there's really not too many bachata or Christian bachatas or salsa Christians or whatever. So I created that partly because of for her radio station as well. And Mr. Don, obviously, an amazing vocalist. I wanted to have him. He's already an established Christian bachata artist, and I wanted to use him for the. It's only appropriate to have him on this track, on this project. So we ended up doing it. The only challenging thing was Mr. Don doesn't really speak English that well, so the when he speaks English, the accent comes out really thick.
Mm.
So I told them, well, instead of English, let's give it like a little Spanglish vibe.
Yeah.
So whatever lyrics you feel comfortable saying sound good in English, let's keep that, and then the Spanish one, we'll keep it Spanish. So that's how the project came about, and yeah, it's definitely a track I didn't intend for to be played out in dance floors. It was more like a personal thing for me. But at the same time, I would hope that people that would hear it on my mother's radio station, it would touch them. But I was playing it during my live streams as well during emotional times. That was actually a key track for people that lost someone due to COVID, um, or they're going through a struggle. I would always play that for them and shout them out during the live stream.
That's excellent, man. I love that, man. That's awesome. Let's talk about Jay Gonzalez. This is an official remix of Fiel that you did,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. How was that collab, and how did that come about?
Yeah, that was cool. Jay Gonzalez, he's actually a dancer. He's very well connected with the dance scene out there. He's from
Hmm.
LA, and he had a reggaeton track. The original's a reggaeton. You guys can look it up if you like. It's called Fiel, and he was a fan of my work for many years, and he said, "Hey man, can we convert one of three songs into a bachata track? If not all three." I was like, "Well, I could do one. I got time to do. I got time to do one." But he sent me the three options, and I went with Fiel for bachata for that, and I sped it up and did my own twist to it, and that's actually the first time I used an accordion sample in a bachata,
Yeah.
and because I think he uses it in the original reggaeton tracks. I was like, oh, well, accordion, huh? All right, I've never tried that on a bachata track. Let's go ahead and see how it goes. And the intro has a little, accordion sample that I played out on my keyboard, and
Right.
that's kind of the, I was trying to go for like the urban reggaeton tropical
Oh, okay.
vibe there for like, a cool little summer track.
That's dope. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the Touch of Love, Juliana Melodies
Yes.
song. That's a burner on the sensual bachata dance floors. Talk about Touch of Love a little bit.
Yeah, Touch of Love. I was connected with Juliana through DJ Dimensions.
Hmm.
She's from Switzerland or Sweden. I always get those countries confused, and it has to do with the SW. Um, but yeah, I remember I had the track produced. This is a similar story to More Than Friends. how that I did with Migs, that I had this track based off of a trance anthem. The same thing for Touch of Love. And I took the sound of that trance melody and converted it into a bachata. And then, with no vocals, I was looking for a vocalist, and I told that to DJ Dimensions. We were having a little online chat, and he recommended Juliana, who he met at some music conference out there in Europe, and they got connected. They actually did a track together as well, and yeah, I was like, I love her vocals. She's actually a vocal coach. She writes her own lyrics, and she's a very well-rounded singer. She's very, very nice too. I've had several conversations with her. She's very easy to work with. Very, very sweet. Very sweet person.
Excellent. So is correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm quite possibly could be wrong. Was I Can Read Your Mind the first original track?
That was I think that was the first remix, like official remix to put out on Spotify that I've done. Yeah. So I Can Read Your Mind. That was Davin Wilson from Dallas, Texas. He's also involved in the dance world out there. Shout out to Dallas, by the way. Dallas, Texas in the house. And Davin Wilson, he told me he does vocals, and same way with Jay Gonzalez. He asked me to remix one of his songs. He sent me his whole album, and I told him there was like 3 or 4 that I really liked, but in particular, I really liked I Can Read Your Mind, and yeah, and just ran with it. Yeah.
Dope, man. This is excellent. Let's talk. You can't talk about DJ Soltrix without talking about Melvin War.
No, not at all.
Traición, another bachata sensual dance floor banger, doing it wrong as well. Let's talk about your relationship with Melvin. How is that working with Melvin War? How did that come about?
Yeah, Melvin War, I remember to this day how we first met. He messaged me on Instagram saying he heard about me and that he wanted to share a couple of his tracks. That year, he released his cover to Passion Fruit, which is a Drake song. And I was confused because when he sent that to me, I'm like, wait a minute, are you a producer, a singer? Like, what is this?
Like, what do you
want?
Is this
a remix?
And why do you want to talk to me?
And yeah, no, and he said no, those are my vocals. I co-produced it, or I think he produced it by himself, and he does guitar, vocals, and all that. He was telling me all this. I'm like, and I told him, man, your vocals are so much like Drake's. I was like, how can anybody sound so much like Drake like this? I was like, this is incredible. I thought it was a remix when I first heard it. And I fell in love with it. I fell in love with his sound, the sensual sound that he did. I love the guitars, his vocals, the thing he was doing, like everything he did 100%. I loved it. So I was like, man, I would love to work with you on a couple projects, especially a Drake one, because his vocals are very similar to Drake's. So, me and him, we joke around. I call him Bachata Drake. And he's a very cool dude, man. He's very, very open-minded to being creative with the bachata genre, and working with him was like, me and him, we vibed together. We had such a good vibe together, working on music and sending projects back and forth, because he lives in New Jersey and he's not here, so we can't do it one-on-one. So yeah, that's how we came about. I fell in love with what he sent me and the future projects he was releasing, and he was actually what I consider the top, again, if you want to say low profile artist that I wanted to work with, that I believe had a lot of potential to succeed in the bachata genre. So
excellent, man, and I love those songs, man. We're gonna wrap up the things got better. Everyone's got things to do. Shout out to everyone who's been with us since the beginning. We're hitting or close to the 2-hour mark, so we're gonna wrap it up. Sure. Before you go, let everyone know, what does Soltrix do for fun? What do I do?
Oh, man.
Do you game? Do you like Marvel? You like Star Wars stuff?
Yeah, no.
You like you exercise, sports. What do you do, man?
Yeah, no, I definitely am a gamer. I'm still a gamer to this day. I
Hey,
just
all
spend a
right.
couple hours a day, to relax playing video games. I like to go out to eat, and I'm a big foodie. I like to explore restaurants, and I like to cook. I like going out, hanging out with friends, and seeing family. Hanging out with my girl Iwana, and as well as I guess the traveling part is fun for me. I still consider my career a hobby and part of the fun process of living my life. And I also enjoy playing pool. I like hanging out with DJs like DJ Speedy Jr. Whenever I can. I like to
Whenever you
visit.
invite me over, I'm
I
on
like
vacation this week.
I like to pop up at your gigs and say hello. And yeah, man. Honestly, yeah, I do what I can and combine work with it. I incorporate work in my fun, and and then especially now this learning process with house music and everything I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's fun for me. It really is. It's learning, but it's fun. Kind of like how people see dance classes and dance music. They That's fun for them and learning the same way I feel with music. So I consider that me doing that for fun, but also doing it as a potential career.
That's excellent, man. That's excellent.
Yeah. Oh, and the live streams here and now and then, that's
Yeah.
fun for me.
You
Like
see,
tonight,
you got
another plug,
look at
another
this.
plug.
Look at this. You got through your first talking about stuff live stream. See what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah,
been
yeah.
trying, ladies and gentlemen, trying to get Soltrix to just go live and just talk.
Yeah, for sure,
You
for
know?
sure.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for this guy too. DJ Speedy Jr., who
Thank you.
I've known you for many years, and I've invited you on several live streams as well.
Thank you, sir.
And I really appreciate you having me on board, and hopefully, I think I still owe you a lunch or dinner date soon, huh?
Yeah, I'm on vacation this week, man.
Ah,
I'm here
bueno.
just doing doing things that interest me this week. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, so I got my mom's birthday tomorrow, and I got wine down
Okay.
Wednesday tonight. If you want
Yeah,
to
yeah.
come by tonight and hang out, if you want to.
Let's see. I'm waiting for some family to come in. So depending on what my wife lets me get away with today, I think I might
Hey,
slide through.
invite the wife. The more the merrier, right?
Now I'm waiting for some family to come from Georgia. So I don't know if we're gonna take them out or whatever. I don't know. Well,
Yeah.
I will definitely keep your invite in my pocket.
Yeah, yeah. Keep it in mind because I leave
Yeah.
Friday. So
Okay.
after
Yeah. You got.
Friday, after
So
Friday, I'm
there we go. So that's a good transition to where you at. What's the gigs that
yes.
everyone wants to know?
So the upcoming events I have this Saturday, I'm DJing on a yacht. It's a yacht
Nice.
party in it's San Francisco.
Stay away from the rails,
Uh,
okay?
yeah, I know, right? They have three levels on this yacht. I believe the one level is going to have Elvis Crespo performing live. There's going to be
Oh man,
a
big.
yeah. There's a party level somewhere. I think it's the second level. I'm not sure. And they're going to be playing reggaeton, salsa, like basically party music, everything mixed up. And then they're going to have me on another level, just playing straight through bachata music.
Cool, cool. Micho wants
Yeah.
to know when you're coming through Peru.
To Peru, is that how you say it?
Yes, Peru.
Chi boom.
Yeah.
Nah, no plans for Peru yet. Nothing in South America. I don't even know. Like, can you still travel without a vaccine?
I think you still have to be vaccinated. I think.
Yeah.
I know
So
Colombia now. You have to be vaccinated.
yeah. So right now I can't do any
Might be
international travel because my vaccination status is still I'm
pending.
not. Yeah, or
I
not
never see the
not
chip yet.
happening.
They're not
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, let's see here. So if they want to follow you, for this for the audio version, everyone here already knows how to follow you. But for the audio version of this podcast, everyone who wants to follow you doesn't know how to, please tell them how to do so.
Yeah, so to stay up to date with my events and social media, everything that I do, music releases, anything related to DJ Soltrix, djsoltrix.com. I do keep that website up to date as much as possible, especially for events. If you guys want to see if I'll be DJing at your town, near you or whatnot, just go to djsoltrix.com and go click on
Mm-hmm.
events at the top. My whole list of confirmed bookings are on there. That means the contract is signed, and I'm gonna be there that date. So for
Nice.
sure, for sure, for sure, go to djsoltrix.com. And if you want to follow me for on a more personal level, or check out dance videos of others that as we spoke about today on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
How dancers are using my tracks to create little viral videos here and there. Go to
Yeah.
my Instagram, follow my story at DJ Soltrix. Check out my story. Everything that I get tagged in, I repost it on there. And of course, if I get now that Instagram has introduced that collaboration feature,
Mm-hmm.
I do accept the collaborations to post up on my news feed as well. So guys want to check out that stuff, follow me at Instagram at DJ Soltrix.
Excellent, excellent, man. Thank you so much for coming on here and being live, man, like a champ
Oh man.
on the channels, and actually adding all your fans too to come join us here on the live too. I really appreciate it, man. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Soltrix. Make
Yes.
sure you give him a follow at DJ Soltrix and djsoltrix.com. Follow me if you like me. Give me a follow at DJ Speedy JR. I'm also here on YouTube. I do some mixing and some shows and some other stuff. And Mixcloud and all that stuff. Every single social platform or music platform, just find me at DJ Speedy JR. And we'll be doing more of these style interviews. Salon de Speedy Jr., Speedy Jr.'s Lounge, with DJs and artists. And I got a lot of great interviews already up. By all means, follow the podcast. Find the podcast on Spotify. It's Speedy Jr.'s Lounge at Salon de Speedy Jr. And or you could just follow lamezcla.com podcast. I put the episodes up there too as well. And if you just want, if you're an audio person, just want to hear the audio podcast, by all means, give me a follow there too. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us here on a Monday afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for hanging out. Soltrix is so broad. He's got so many fans all over.
No, I just want to say real quickly, thank you
Yeah.
to everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. Make sure to follow Speedy for more interviews that he does as well, as he mentioned. And I'll see you guys tonight. I'll be doing a live stream for my deep house lovers out there. Come by tonight on my YouTube channel, starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing a live stream set tonight. So I'll see everybody tonight. And
Yeah,
thanks
we'll be
again.
there. If
Yeah,
I'm not there in person, I'll be there virtually.
for sure. And
All
DJ
right,
Speedy
man.
Jr., thank you for
Yes,
having
sir.
me, man. Appreciate
No
you.
problem, man. Thank you, sir. Have a good one, everybody.